Yeah. Good day. I'd like to discuss something to think it over. Could it be true? That's the subject of my talk right now. I've used this argument sooner, and I want to make you think about it at least. Well, we live in a world where the population is about 7 billion people. That's a lot of people, folks. It's a lot of people. The majority of this numerous amount of people is believing in a higher being. The majority of these people. The people who do not believe in a higher being that we call God, of who we call God, is a minority in reference to the world's population. Well, of course, I agree. I really agree that it's not a scientific argument, what I'm going to tell you now, but because the majority of opinions does not determine necessarily truth. I mean, everybody in the world can believe something, and one doesn't believe, and the one out of all the 7 billion people could be right, in contrast to the rest of the 7 billion. So the majority of opinion does not determine truth in itself. Yeah. But despite of this thing, it should at least make you think, could it be true that God is a reality, that God is factual? I mean, if God is a fact, just as this door is, then you can think or believe whatever you like, but that does not change the presence or unpresence or the not presence of this door. You see, a fact is a fact, no matter if you believe it or you can prove it or whatever. Nonetheless, a fact remains a fact. Well, like I said, the majority, about 6.5 billion people, believe there is a higher being, yeah, and they believe in a higher spiritual state of mind, that is possible. That I mean, about 6.5 billion people. That's not a minority. Like I said, the majority of opinions do not determine truth. I agree, but it should at least make you think about it. At least that's the minimum. That's the minimum. For hey, could these people be right? Could it be possible? Yeah. And for that, it is required that you should investigate. So, okay, is it true? Yes or no? I want to know. If you're sincere, if you really are sincere and open-minded about it, then at least you should investigate. That's what you oblige to yourself. I mean, suppose it's true, then what are the consequences of it? I mean, if it's not true, okay, then there's nothing to lose or to gain. But if it is factually true, then it has some consequences as well. I mean, if God is a reality, if God is factually there, and personally I know it's true, my belief has turned to knowing things, then if God is true, I'm reasoning from your perspective, yeah, from you as a person who does not believe. I try to place myself in your skin for a moment, just for a brief moment, and reason with you. So if it's true, then you are obliged in the first place to yourself, okay, to investigate it, because what does it mean? It has some consequences. If God is a factual reality, it has some major impact on your life. It did with me. It did with all the people who believe in God, and it will in the future also have some impact on your life. Whether you believe or not, if God is a reality, your unbelief is not an issue. It's not, to God, it's not an issue. If God is real, then whether you believe or not does not make him go away or something like that. I mean, God is factually there as this door is, or He's not there. Simple as that. It's logic, basic school logic. Yeah, it's there or it's not there. Simple. But if God is a reality, yeah, even though you cannot see him, even though you cannot sense him, even though you cannot hear him, even though you cannot prove it, etc., etc. But if God's a fact, yeah, then that has some big time influence on your life, sooner or later. It's going to be. Yeah, that's why you are obliged to yourself in the first place to investigate it, whether it's true, yes or no. It's very important, because if you don't investigate it and you found out that in the end it's true, then you may be in big time trouble. And that's what I wanted to put on your heart. So please, folks, for your own sake, not for I'm gaining nothing with this, really nothing. Yeah, I'm doing you a favor here. I mean, I'm being mocked at. I'm being, I'm the one who's getting the you're a fool and you're an idiot and blah blah blah. I get all that bullshit on my head, so I'm gaining nothing. Yeah, I'm only getting negative arguments and negative statements and this kind of stuff, etc. on my YouTube thing. So I'm gaining nothing from it. I'm doing you a favor. Yeah, I hope you realize that. So it's in your interest to investigate it, not in mine. Yeah, I'm putting my neck out, sticking my neck out for you in this case. I don't mind. That's okay. I don't have financial profit from it. I don't have any personal profit from it, etc., etc., etc. The thing is, I would like to see you in heaven. And I agree. The majority of people believe in a spiritual higher being. Yeah. I agree also, we do not agree altogether who he is. Yeah? I mean, you have the Christians believing in God, Jesus Christ, the Holy Spirit. The Jews believe in only God and Jehova, Yahweh. The Muslims believe in Allah. The other people believe in other kinds of deity, etc., etc., etc. So we don't. I agree. We don't all agree on who he exactly is and which words to take through. You got the Bhagavad Gita with how's it called? Guy called and the Vedas and things like that. So we don't all. I agree that we don't all agree about who the person God is. That's another thing. But the fact that the majority of this world population, about 6.5 billion people, believe in a higher spiritual being that we call God, should at least make you think. And it may be that you cannot prove it. It may be that you cannot see it. It may be that you cannot sense it in the first place. But at least you are obliged to yourself and the fellow people and the people around you to investigate it. From, hey, are these guys right or are they wrong? Yeah. What I did when I came to believe is, okay, a lot of people told there is a God. So I thought, well, the Buddhists and the Hinduists and the Taoists and the Muslim and the Christians and the Jews and the Jehova Witnesses and so on, so on, so on. They all tell, we have the truth. Oh, we have the truth. Yeah, we're telling the truth. You have to believe us. Well, I said, okay, everybody's making up their own truth, so I cannot trust on people in this issue. So I said, okay, if God is a reality, if God is factually just as this door is a fact, yeah, even though I don't know it, even though I cannot understand it maybe, even though I cannot maybe prove it, even though I cannot touch it, yeah, even including that, if God is true, then he is the only person who can tell me about it, and he can only show. He's the only one who can open my eyes for it. So I asked him, okay, God, if you are real, I wanted to know the truth. I mean, I was educated as a scientist, and as a scientist, I want to know truth. I want to. That's the biggest fundament of science, to find truth. How does things work? How is it made? How does it function, etc.? And is it truth? And that's what I liked to investigate. It is, what is the truth about this? And so I started to ask for, okay, God, if you are a reality, I may not know you, I may not understand it, I may not see it, I may not, all that kind of stuff, but please, if you really exist, please open my eyes for the truth. And I asked it, and within short time, he opened my eyes that, yeah, I'm a reality. And God showed me that I was a sinner, that I committed a lot of bad stuff in my life, as we all do. And God said, well, listen, if you keep on following this track, then you have a big time trouble with me. And ever since, it was in 2004, July 2004 approximately. And ever since, I've been a believing Christian. Yeah, but listen, you have to find it out. You have to build that relationship with God yourself. I mean, I can tell you about it, but you have to find it out yourself in person. It's you and God. I mean, I can tell you everything about the Bible. I could tell you lots of stuff about other stuff, yeah, but it's your personal experience. I cannot give you my personal experience. Yeah, I can tell you about it, but I cannot give you my personal experience. I cannot give it to you. That's something you have to find out yourself with God. And ask Him with an open and honest heart and mind. Ask Him. Really, really, really ask Him. God, if you are a reality, please open my eyes for this truth. I want to know. If you really want to know, then ask Him. And He, in His way, and His way will be fitted on you as a person. God knows you very personal. He made you. I mean, so God can come into your life in the way that you understand it. In His way. He determines how He's going to do it. It can be in various ways. God speaks sometimes audibly, by hearing something, sometimes by signs, sometimes by situations you're put in, sometimes via other people, sometimes in things you read and that really touches you, and you read an advertisement and man, whoa. These are ways of God to speak to you. God is very creative in how He can speak to you. So He can also, of course, He speaks via the Bible, of course, etc., etc., etc. God can speak in very different ways to you, but you have to learn to put off your glasses and put on spiritual glasses. Look in a spiritual way. This world consists of matter and spirit, of something that you can touch and things that you cannot touch. That's the spiritual higher level what we're talking about. Okay, so could it be truth? Ask God Himself. He knows. Okay, this is actually the message. Hasta la vista.